You know, that's why you gotta stay focused and stay in your studies and live the culture. Don't. You know what I mean? It's all well to find and to manifest and to know it because 360 comes like what? Knowing it, manifesting it, and living it. That's how you make the 360. You know, you also have to know how to quote it. You know what I'm saying? Because how Dog Kim told me about if we was at war, you know what I'm saying, and you was intact um with the language. You know what I'm saying? As far with the quoting or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Then nah, you got to be you got to stay on. That's why one time he was building with me in the yard and he was telling me that he said that's why it's important to have it and to go over it because I'm a member in the class, Infinite. That stuck with me. The time that the older guard Allah Shah said, um, I don't care if he's 40 something years old. He do a lot of cursing, and I don't care how old he is. You better know those F lessons. And then he turned around, looked at the whole class, and he said, and that goes for all of y'all here. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I used like from that time. Every time I'm soaking, God, from the student enrollment to the actual facts. You know what I'm saying? I go through it one by one, because it's a very good exercise as well. You know what I'm saying? To keep that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of things that you have to remember in 120, God.
Yeah, no,
There's a
yeah.
there's a long it's a lot of long degrees too.
There's definitely a lot of long degrees. It's also, a good exercise for your mind
Mm-hmm.
to keep yourself sharp and on point. You know what I'm saying? It's like your brain is like a muscle, right? Or your memory is like a muscle,
Mm-hmm.
and you retaining all that information in 120 is like it's an actual muscle. You know what I'm saying? And then when you go out and you exercise it, you can flex it a lot more. You know what I'm
You
saying?
you
And
know
then
you know what how I do it, God. Sometimes when I go do the 120, I start with the big degrees first. I
mm,
go from the builder's short degree and the 1 of 40, then I go to the born degree in the 1 of 14, and then
mm,
I go to the culture degree in the 1
one
of
of 14.
14. The longest ones,
Right, and then
those three.
what about the wisdom build degree?
The wisdom build degree, that's the first one that
Oh,
I do.
okay. I thought you said the build degree in the 1 of 40.
In the 1 of 40,
So,
that's one. And then the build the destroy degree in the 1 of 40, those
yeah,
two.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So the
The,
wisdom build, the build destroy. Okay, I see what you're saying.
and the
Yeah.
1 of 40. And then I go to the born degree in the knowledge culture, and then I go to the culture degree in the knowledge
So
culture.
why do you do it like that? You say it's because you just want to get
The the
the big
the
ones.
the big ones out the way first, and then I go to the student enrollment,
Mm.
and then I say, oh, well, I already coded the culture degree and the
Mm.
knowledge culture. I already coded the born degree, and I already coded the long
The
ones.
long ones. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I
You,
already
you
got
you
those
ready to
out
get
the
it out the
way.
way. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, it's different ways
Of doing it.
of doing it. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because that's one way. That's your specific individual way. But for me, I like to go through
Order.
the order from knowledge, from knowledge to born, from knowledge to Pluto.
For knowledge to Pluto and
Yeah,
back to.
back to knowledge.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm
go
saying?
south.
So I always know the order. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I could go to just like the alphabet. I could go to like actually any tenth letter of the alphabet is J. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The 24th is X. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
you
You already have it.
have like that because I started to learn the order of it. So I learned it like that's how I learned my 120s like in a certain order.
Order,
You know what
okay.
I'm saying? So I draw it up like that. But then coming in contact with brothers have it in different orders.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And them having it in different orders. You know what I mean? They some brothers might be like, yeah, what's the 36 degree and 120? It depends on how you have it. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
how in order in which you have it. But um,
And then to ask a brother that part and self, right? Because some brothers get it different.
Yeah.
Because I seen some brothers that they get the one of 14 before they get the one of 36.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So to ask a brother like the way you just finished asking, what's the 88th degree in 120 lessons? You know what I'm saying? That's like
That depends on, like I said, depends on how you got it.
how you got it,
How
right?
you got it.
How you got it, because some brothers got it like that, and some brothers say, "Nah, don't ask me. Just ask me what it is." Like for, because that's just making like some things complicated
It
for
is
some people.
complicated. It is complicated, but I don't, I don't see nothing wrong with it per se because it's an exercise. So you just got to exercise. Some people are just not used to that particular exercise. It's
Right.
like going to the gym, and somebody may used to be doing chin-ups, and then the next person come along, they can't do chin-ups. They can do a
Right.
whole bunch of curls with a lot of weight, but they can't really do any real chin-ups.
They can't pull their own weight up.
They can't pull their own weight up. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Because they're not used to that in that way. They're not used to that particular exercise. But if they were to get used to that exercise, they would know how to do it. They would have gain the benefit of that.
Right.
Just so I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's just that not everybody knows it that way. So
Yeah.
when I ask a brother, what's the 88th degree, and they say, okay, it depends on how you have it. And I say, well, if you had it, with the 1 to 14 first, and then the 1 to 36, and then the 1 to 40, then what's that degree, right? If they don't know it, it's like it's all right. I mean, but it's still an exercise for you to get that on point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
It's just the same way, even with the whole power refinement thing, right? I understand when brothers say that your power can't be refined. You know what I'm saying? But I also understand that I have the power to refine.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So I know dealing with this culture, I know the limit, and I know how to communicate with my brothers and sisters because I've been around long enough. I know, okay, over here, this sect of individuals speak the language this way, or speak this dialect. Speaking in this dialect is almost like going to difference between Dominican and Puerto Rican.
Right.
It's still Spanish.
It's still Spanish, but different
Different dialect.
a different dialect. They might change slightly a word or two.
If Mega did this.